The poem is interspersed with information from a timeline of Roma history. 1856, Romania. Emancipation of gypsy slaves in Wallachia. Simply to fly, to turn on wind, on whim, set off, begin again. New world, old world, new world, and this. Girl with a suitcase, rushing where? Woman alone mid-air, a language in her hands, unwritten still. Bird of a chance, carried toward what carries her. It was a past that changed gradually as he advanced on his journey, because the traveler's past changes according to the route he has followed. Italo Calvino, Invisible Cities. I wander through Paris reading a book called Bury Me Standing Wherever I Go. I read in the metro, read in cafes, read in the beautiful palace gardens drenched in wind and winter sun. I sit in the Tuileries filling my head, as my mother would say, with the stories and facts. Gypsies traded as slaves in Romania hundreds of years ago. Gypsies burned out of their camps all over Eastern Europe now. Gypsies who lurk at the stations and borders, trading their luck for worse luck, worse and worse. Gypsies, as in Egyptians, who came first from India, perhaps, who mixed with the poor of Wallachia, ghost of my father's name. Not so much nomadic by nature, as that they were never allowed to stay. I look up from these words at the Eiffel Tower, think, we have no monuments, no white-eyed statues of gods and goddesses. The only God is luck. Children are sailing toy boats in the fountain. Empires are rising and falling again. And where is my place in all of this? Which terrible history is mine? Well, nothing belongs to me, least of all memory. Even the past keeps transforming, the dead. Even the image of the uncle I've loved best begins to shift. Dark prince with his one gold tooth, black sheep with his pockets full of cash. As if he is coming toward me again in this wind, saying, now that you understand nothing, you can begin to understand. Whispering, princess, from his deathbed in the ward for indigents. When I get out of here, I'm going to tell you something. Then he's gone. Then only movement, the stirring of shadows. The leaves of the trees are turning from green to silver, flashing like coins in the sun. 1928, Germany. Nomadic Roma to be placed under permanent police surveillance. 1939, Germany. Gypsy fortune tellers arrested and sent to Ravensbrück concentration camp. 1940, France. French government opens internment camps for nomads. 1940, Germany. Lands under German occupation. January. The first genocidal action of the Holocaust takes place in Buchenwald, when 250 Roma children are used as guinea pigs to test the Zyklon B gas crystals. In Warsaw, blackbird girls swoop down in flocks, the old town square a swirl of dark-eyed, dark-haired girls in brilliant skirts who circle, trilling at my waist, throw up their arms to beg for sweets, who know among the tourists whom to choose. How do they know? So being chosen, being glad in any language, tak means yes. I let them pick from sticky cakes behind the glass. The old proprietress glares back at me and thinks Amerikanka, idiotka, but cannot refuse my cash. How far in zlotys dollars go? So I buy cake for every girl, then watch them fly away again, their small hands sugared, glittering, as if I'd given jewels to them. The sky above the bitter city, sharp as diamonds then. (1943) Poland, July. Himmler visits the gypsy section in Auschwitz and orders the Roma to be killed. 1945, Poland, January. On January 27th at 3 p.m., soldiers of the 100th Lviv Infantry Division of the 60th Army of the 1st Ukrainian Front liberate the main camp at Auschwitz and find, among the survivors, one Rom. This is for Raymond Guerin. Begins with a quote from him. I was hiding in a tree the whole night while the police were looking for me. He doesn't say they tried to kill him, but they had. A face like smoke, a wraith, a man who was a boy who disappeared, escaped again. Now he sits beneath a tree outside the gates of the concentration camp and lights a cigarette. He was an acrobat, he says to me in French, and still so slight, so lithe, you see? He locks his hands behind his back and shows me how he bent in two, stepped through those shackles, slipped away, gave them the slip 9 different times, was only caught 8 times, brought back. He's 92 years old and smokes a cigarette beneath a tree in Auschwitz, says, you see, against the monsters of this world, this little man, his black hat cocked. Once the plump guards laughed, made merry, while the likes of this man starved. Now, we pass some sandwiches around. What isn't over has begun again. We're hungry, but there's more. The grass grows lush with human ash. There are no birds. No, there's one bird. This is part of an announcement by Roman Kwiatkowski, chairman of the Roma People Association in Poland, delivered at Auschwitz-Birkenau, August 2nd, 2017. They died on the roads of their wandering. They died in their sheltered forest, but above all, they died here, on the land where you stand today. At this place, people of different nationalities, religions, orientations died. The presence of representatives of various countries in today's ceremony, for which I am deeply grateful, highlights the universal aspect of Auschwitz, the place where the ultimate attempt was made to deny the unity of the human family. And this is for Peter Hollenreiner. You must find your people, the driver said, leaving me off in a place that seemed unfamiliar, where I didn't see anyone at all, an empty street, an empty lawn, a gray building grim as a bunker. I thought, but where was everyone? And then a crowd came spilling out into the morning light, my friends, and I knew where I was again. A long, quiet bus ride from Krakow to Auschwitz, then a long, quiet walk into the camp. The young man in front of me wore a Roma flag draped over his shoulders like a cape, red wheel on a field of blue and green. They let us in through the gates. They let us out through the chimneys. roses heaped where there were no graves. A man spoke of being a child here, hungry, limp, on his mother's knees. A woman remembered her godmother's husband, their 5 little girls, who all went up in smoke. In the hell of Auschwitz, where real devils lived in human skin. We walked out under a scorching sun. In the evening, in the garden of the Tsigan area, I danced with a man who tried to tell me in halting English his father's life, a Rom who'd served in the German army, denounced by his landlord. Who be you? He was sent to Auschwitz, nearly starved, came home alive but sick and thin, so thin he died in months. His plump son twirled me and kissed my hand. God please you, he said to me and smiled. The moon rose gold above the trees. We're here. Just look at us. God, please.